Can Revit help you create a good staircase design for your building? In this episode 25, we are going to create a staircase and check that out. So let's dive in. This is a project where I would like to create a staircase in this area. Now, before I directly jump into my staircase tool, I would like to take a minute and think about what kind of staircase I would like to build for my design. If you are a designer, a little bit of planning and preparation will go a long way in creating a perfect stair for your design. So let's think about using annotation and dimension tool, whether we have enough space for a staircase or not. I'm going to dimension here and see, okay, I have about 2700 millimeters width here, which means using detail lines, I can think about whether I have about 1200 millimeter wide staircase that would fit into my space or not. Let's create a detail line here and see how much space do I have between this riser and the starting riser. So we have about 2500 millimeters of run length available. So if I think about 300 millimeters of my run tread depths, that would be around 8 tread depths that I could fit in this area. So if I have 8 treads here and 8 treads on this side, I would totally have about 16 treads in my staircase. Let's go into the section and see what's the height that we have to climb. From ground floor to first floor, we have about 3 meters that is our staircase height. Now with a little bit of understanding of how we would like to position our staircase, now let's go back into Architecture tab and jump into our staircase tool. As a first step, I would choose what kind of staircase I would like to build, whether it is a wooden type, a concrete type, or a precast stair. In this project, I would like to create a concrete staircase, so I'm going to choose monolithic stair type. Next, what is the stair height? So the base level is ground floor and top level is my first floor. So Revit is going to automatically choose the stair height based on these levels. So currently our staircase height is about 3000 millimeters. The next, we decide how many number of rises do we want. We know that we have a space for about 16 treads. So if I type in 16 risers, it is going to divide my staircase height by 16 desired number of risers. But here you see the actual riser height is about 187 millimeters, which is greater than the maximum riser height specified in the stair type. So if I look at my type properties, the maximum riser height which is specified is 180 millimeters, which is quite high. So if we choose about 16 risers, riser height is going to exceed that number and it is not going to be allowed. In case if you want to change this, you can of course duplicate this type and make that change. Generally, for a good staircase design, it's a good idea to have something less than 180 millimeters. So how do we add more risers to our staircase? Let's say if you want to start our staircase with a riser on both runs, then we could have the same number of treads with 2 additional risers. So in this way, I could add 18 risers and I would have actual riser height is 166.7, which is within the limits of our specification. Next, I would choose my tread depth, which I have chosen to be 300 millimeter for this staircase. And the next step is to go to run and choose a run width. In my case, it is 1200 millimeters because that's the space that we have decided to create. And the location line is run center right now, which means if I click somewhere here, my staircase will be built, keeping the cursor in the middle of my run. Let's say I'm going to choose run right as my location line and start my staircase from this point. And I move my cursor down. As my cursor moves down, you can see here that then there is a number on the bottom of my sketch, which is saying how many risers I have created and how many are remaining. I'm going to stop my run when it says 9 created and 9 remaining. So now I have 9 risers created. But if I look at here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 treads because we are starting with a riser. When I select my run, it says it's beginning with a riser and ending with a riser. So that is how we have 8 treads but 9 risers. Let's go to run again and start from this direction and move all the way till we have 9 risers created and 0 remaining, because in total in this staircase we have 18 risers required. Because we switched on the automatic landing option, the landing is created automatically between the two runs that we just created. Let's go to the section to have a look. So we have the first run, the landing, and the second run. The second run is ending with a riser, which means the gap between my last tread and my first floor level is about 167 millimeters, which is the same as my riser height. So this is the reason why our staircase is not going all the way up to the level, because it is keeping a gap for the last riser. If you would like to change that and not end with a riser but end with a tread, let's go back to the plan view, select the run that we want to edit, and choose this option off. So I'm not going to end with a riser. So we have last tread available, but this means that there's one riser less. Here you can see actual number of risers is 17, whereas we wanted 18 of those to be our riser height within limits. So we need to add one more tread and one more riser to complete our staircase. Let's select this run and drag it here to add one more riser. We have 18 risers available, 8 treads here and 9 treads here, total 17 treads and 18 risers. Let's go to section 1 and have a look. So in this way, the last step that we have is a tread, which is flushed with our floor slab. Let's go and finish that. Here, the staircase is created, but there is no opening in the floor slab. Now there are two ways to create an opening in the floor slab. Let's go into the first floor level and edit the boundary of our floor. This is a closed boundary of our floor slab. If we create a closed loop inside a closed loop, it is going to create an opening in it. But there is another way of doing this. Let's go into architecture and use a shaft opening. Shaft opening helps you create an opening across multiple levels. If your staircase is going across multiple levels, it's a good idea to use a shaft opening that creates an opening through floors on multiple levels. So let's go into shaft opening and choose pick lines option to choose our boundary line. I'm going to use wireframe mode to see my staircase. With no overlaps and no intersections. When I go into my 3D view, now I can see my staircase. Let's select our staircase in a section view. I'm going to edit the type and duplicate the staircase. I'm going to call it concrete custom stair. Now let's check through the type properties and what we can do with them. I'm going to edit my run type and duplicate 150 millimeter depth to a custom run. Let's change the structural depth to 200 millimeters and apply that. You can see how that structural depth changed. You can also make the underside surface stepped instead of smooth. Let's go back and put it to smooth. If you would like to add finishes to your treads and riser, let's switch on the tread and the riser option. You can see how a riser and a tread finish was added to your staircase. Let's put it on a shaded mode to have a look. Let's select, edit the type, custom run, and let's change the material of our tread. Let's make it maybe wood of this sort, maybe. Let's also add a material to our riser, maybe the same material. You can adjust the thickness of your tread, maybe 20 millimeters here, and riser thickness also 20 millimeters, and apply that. You can see how that changed. So let's load family of a nosing profile before we add them to our staircase. In the profiles folder, stairs, we have a few nosing profiles here. I'm going to load one of those. If you like, you can use a custom profile family and use that too. I'm going to use the default one that's available in the library. Let's go back to the staircase, custom run. I'm going to use this nosing profile that we just loaded, maybe radius of 20 millimeters with a nosing length of about 20 millimeters as well. I'm going to apply that and see how that nosing is applied to front right now. On my right hand side of my staircase, I have a wall. So I would like to apply my nosing on front and left. Let's apply that. Okay, this, okay, this. Now we have a beautiful riser and tread with nosing on left front and left side. Now, if I want my staircase to continue from first floor to all the way to the third floor, I can simply come back here, select my staircase and choose Select Levels. I can connect my levels, second floor. I'm going to press Ctrl and use my third floor as well. And I'm going to finish this. This way, this staircase is going to create a multi-story staircase. Let's go and see that in the 3D view. Now I have a staircase that expands multiple levels. I can always come back to my multi-story staircase and connect or disconnect additional levels. Let's say I want to disconnect my third floor. I'm going to select that and finish it. And here, my staircase is disconnected from my third floor. So how do you create a good staircase design in Revit? So step number 1, prepare and plan your staircase design. Have a little idea about where you would like to position it, what shape your staircase is, and how wide it is. Step number 2, create and validate your staircase design idea. Don't worry about creating a perfect staircase from the beginning. Step number 3, refine your staircase design by making changes to it. Step number 4, edit the type properties in order to add more details and finishes to your staircase design. If you would like to try a hands-on exercise on the sample project file that I just used in my video, you can go to my website learningrevit.online.com. I'm going to provide you the link in the description box. You can try to follow the step-by-step tutorial on my website. You can also download the sample files from here. If you have any questions or feedback, please feel free to get in touch with me through my Contact Us page. In the next episode, we are going to talk about how to create ramps in a project file. So please subscribe, stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next.